Welcome to episode 34 of Last Stitch Effort. This is my place where I talk about using up my stash and trying not to add to it. My name is Pikasha and I'm joining you from a very, I want to say overcast. It's not rainy, but overcast day in New Mexico. Yeah, so let's get started. Usually I talk about what I'm wearing first, and today I've got this cowl, not a cowl at all, a shawl. This is Waiting for Rain, which, I mean, that was not intentional, but with the weather today. But it's called Waiting for Rain. It's by Sylvia McFadden. And it's a garter stitch shawl with like lace inserts. I don't know how well that's showing up on camera. But I did this back in like 2016 or something like that. And I remember this being a really quite relaxing and fun knit. I used Madeline Tosh Merino Light in the color Coal Seam, and I used about 2 skeins. And it's just one of my favorites. So I was wearing purple leggings, and I had to have a purple shawl apparently. It's actually a little bit warm, so this may come off. I don't know. Anyway, back to the leggings. I'm supposed to tell you that they're awesome leggings. Mark and my daughter agreed, and Mark insisted that I tell you this, and also he's insisting that you guys know he's apologizing that he hasn't worn his cardigan yet. So I told him that was a lot of people were invested in that, and he better start wearing it. Just kidding. Whatever, he's gonna wear it. It doesn't matter, and you don't care, right? Okay, Mark said it. Are we happy? We're good. All right. Anyway, so let's see. I've finished a few things this week, or since I last recorded. So my numbers did move a little bit. I also brought in a little bit of yarn, but I immediately used all that yarn up, and you'll see, like, I've been on like a knitting spree, gift knitting spree. But anyway, so I finished 2 projects. So right now my total grams in my stash is 48,706. And then my stash went down by 1 ball or 1 entry. Yeah, 1 entry, I think. No, not even that. Okay, we're just going to skip all of that. Okay, so we're at 48,706. So that's a little smaller than last time. Chipping away at it. And pretty soon I'll have some more stuff coming out. So we'll see those numbers move. If you're invested in that as much as I am, which I kind of assume that you're not, I like to see those numbers move, but that's me. All right, so let's do some finished objects. I have quite a few to show you. The first one is one that you have seen. I guess there's 2 that you have seen. This is my Shift Cowl by Andrea Mowry. And I got the kit from Hacer, Santa Fe, which is a beautiful little yarn shop in Santa Fe. Spincycle, Dyed in the Wool, Salty Dog, Wild Horses, and I think Ghost Ranch. And I was knitting this with my friends Alicia and Emily, and we all finished, and we took pictures, and they're on my Instagram stories. It's their pictures because I didn't feel like taking a picture. I didn't feel like being in a picture either, but whatever. You do what you gotta do. Okay, so I finished that. Yay! So that was a nice project to get off the needles, and it's also like perfect timing because it's just starting to cool off, and these are really cool autumnal colors. So that's done. Let's see, I think I was knitting these last time. I don't remember what I had on the needles, but these are socks for my friend Stella. It's my cousin's adorable little daughter, and we stayed with them when we were evacuated from the fires over the summer. and she was really interested in knitting, and I don't think she really wanted to learn to knit, but she wanted to have some socks, and so I gladly knit her up a pair of socks. I also have a couple of other things in the works for her and her brother as well, which I'll show you some of that. So Stella socks are done. They were initially for another kid, but I cast on the wrong size, and so whatever. There's always somebody that I can pass things on to or knit for instead. So that worked out really well. And this is Hedgehog Fibres Sock Yarn in Anemone. That's the color. And then I went on a little kick. I have a young friend whose birthday is this weekend. And so I wanted to make him something, but he also has a little brother who likes handmade things. And so I had to make two things because that's what you have to do when there are siblings, I feel. And I don't mind at all. So I have two little monsters. I think this is the Hugo pattern from, this is Rebecca Danger? Yeah. So yeah, just her patterns are pretty much just use like yarn and needles that are appropriate and just make them, and they turn out whatever size, I don't know. Like, I think the pattern is for bulky, but I just did it in worsted. And this is just an acrylic yarn. I didn't really have anything appropriate in my stash, so I did just pick up some acrylic yarn from Hobby Lobby and made these guys straight away, and they're so cute, and I loved them, and I had to wait for their eyeballs to come, but they're here now. And so these guys are done. And then I had like a little bit, well, not a little bit, but I did have some yarn left over because of course I bought two skeins and really only needed one. So I started making some slippers because I think slippers for kids are a great way to use up some acrylic in your stash. So I have this pair of slippers. This is for Stella as well. And these are, I got the pattern from Temple of Knit. And it's like everyday slipper pattern or something like that. It's a freebie pattern, but I've had to adjust the numbers to fit the kids. So yeah, so it's just like garter stitch, and then you knit a bit and then you decrease. There's also like other patterns, very similar to this or exactly the same as this. It's kind of one of those patterns that everybody's grandma knit at some point. So yeah, so I have a pair of those for Stella. And I have a pair for one of the boys that is getting a monster. He's also getting little slippers to fit him. His brother will get a pair too, just different yarn. And I haven't gotten to that yet. And then I have two other little ones to knit for, even smaller. So these are for Howie. And they're just cute. And that pattern that I used, it comes in an adult size. Sorry, I don't know why I'm so hoarse, but it's an adult size pattern, but it's super easy to change the numbers. And this is kind of weird, but I trace the kids' feet. Like if I see them, I trace their feet, and then I kind of know how big they are and whatever. You do want to make the slippers smaller because they do need to stretch out. I have a pair of my size in some hand spun yarn, and I've had to use some of that elastic, the really thin like thread elastic, just stitched in the top, and that kind of holds them on your feet. But yeah, so I have some more to make to fill out the sibling sets. So that will be upcoming. I'm sure I'll show that next week. So because of all of that knitting, I haven't really been working on my framed or my, which is Andrea Mowry, sorry, pullover, and I can never remember, the woolen pine thing that I'm making. Sea glass. I don't know why I can't remember that name. I love sea glass, but anyway, so yeah, so I haven't really been, pardon me, I haven't really been working on anything else, except I did start a pair of socks because once I finish one pair, I have to start another one. This is for uh, my cousin's son, Rhett, and he is a teenage boy, so a little bit bigger feet than I'm used to knitting. And I don't remember, this yarn is like, it's a German yarn that I got on Etsy. I think it's like a Regia base, but I don't know, like, I'll put it below. I don't know how to pronounce it. I heard it pronounced by a German person at one point, and that is not how I would pronounce it at all, so I'm not even going to try to say it. But anyway, so here's the first sock, and I'm just using my normal plain vanilla pattern that I use for just about everything. And yeah, so try to get to the decreases on this first sock and get the ribbing cast on for the second, because we have, sorry about that, we have a little road trip this weekend, so that'll be a good way to knit in the car. Yeah, I think that's, see, these are my tracings of the kids' feet. So I carry around weird drawings of children's feet. That's not weird at all, is it? Yeah, I don't know. It helps. They grow so fast and whatever. So I would show you my framed and I would show you my sea glass, but nothing really happened. And oh, yeah. Kind of having thoughts, and maybe I'll get your opinion on this, what you think. So last time I discussed, sorry, let me try to get some stuff out of the way here. I discussed that I had taken my framed off of the small needle that I was using, and it was all bunched up, and I moved it to a larger one. And you know, I've knit enough color work in my life. Yeah, I've only done about an inch on this. That I know that like this kind of wavy part will block out fine. I'm not really worried about that, but I'm almost to the part where you knit flat. And I'm kind of wondering if I should do a steek instead and just keep going in the round. Anyway, so since I switched to the bigger needle, it has helped with keeping my floats a little more flat. So they're not bunched up like they are down here. Once again, I know it's going to block out. I'm not concerned that it's going to be wavy. But there's still that part where you're like, maybe my gauge like changed enough that it may not be like totally matching. Maybe I should go back and fix this bottom part. So I'm kind of halfway thinking that before I get to a place where I might be cutting a steek, maybe I should just reknit. I mean, that seems, it's a lot of work to take out, but I would like to know that the gauge is working and that it's going to block perfectly. I mean, I know I could block it right now, and that may happen. But I'm also not totally thrilled with this section of the yarn. Like, I don't normally like a whole lot of like super high contrast barber pulling, but I can deal with it. Like, I don't mind that. I just, with the rest of the colors, I just don't like this super darkish part that much. Tell me what you think. Like, it would only be a little bit out. It wouldn't be, if I'm going to do it, I need to do it. And I need to make that decision. So that's, yeah, that's where I'm at with that. So I'll probably work on my sea glass before I continue with this and think about this a little bit longer. I also kind of just want to try it on and make sure that it's going to be the fit that I'm looking for, the amount of ease that I'm looking for. And I may block it too, I'm not sure. It's just awfully like wavy. Like, I don't know. I think I might restart it. But it's better than me like making it and not wearing it, right? Yeah. So I've been thinking about that a lot, and if I want to do that. Um, I didn't even bring my sea glass in here because I didn't touch it. I didn't even look at it. Just a lot of monster knitting and slipper knitting and re-slipper knitting because, yeah, I took one to try on one of the boys and it did not fit even remotely. So that's kind of the thing. Maybe I should have sprung for the paid adjustment in the pattern so I wouldn't have to do all this work on my own. But I probably would have had to adjust it anyway, just for length. Anyway, yeah, so that's what I've been working on. And it doesn't seem like a whole lot's coming out of the stash, but I know it is. And I know that's probably not the, the end goal of all knitting for everyone, but it does feel good to move things and I want to use up my stash. There are things that are catching my eye and that I'm thinking about casting on, and I'm trying really hard to make it happen with what I have versus buying more yarn. Because I do have a lot of really fun stuff that I want to use, and I do have a lot of projects already that I want to use, and I think that's kind of an age-old thing with me, is I need to be happy with what I have instead of always wanting more, and I know that I'm not alone in that. And yeah, especially with knitting being such a slow process, you want to make sure that that time is spent with good intention. I feel like that's important. Sorry, this chair is like, well, number one, it's like 60 years old, so I'm sitting in a much taller chair than I used to. Both of them are very, very ancient old chairs. I don't know why I don't spring for something a little less crotchety. Right, well, that's all I really have to share, but I knew it had been a while, and I didn't want to wait another week, and because I'm going to have to give some of these presents to who they belong to. So that's it. Make sure you're registered to vote and that you're ready to go on that. If I don't talk to you before, I'm sure I will because we still have a month. And then some. And that's it. Anyway, love you guys. Talk to you soon.